Hey guys, welcome back. If you are new here, I'm Chantel Purcell, and it's been about 1 year since I finished my treatments for breast cancer. And if you are new, I invite you to just maybe go back and watch some of the other videos leading up that'll kind of explain how we got to where we are today. And because today I'm just going to kind of like roll forward with an update of where I've been and where we're going. So where I've been, where I've been for like 6 months, you guys, I've been sick. I'm just gonna get right down to it. I've been sick. Feeling much, much better now though, so that's really good. So it's been like about a year ago I finished my treatments, and I really truly thought that I would just jump right back into living my life, I mean, like I went through a whole year of treatment and, that survival mode and fighting for my life and doing all the treatments and stuff. But once that was over, I just assumed that I could pick up and go on. And it just didn't work exactly like that. So, for about 3 months after finishing my last treatment, I was tired. And it was more than just being tired, it was actually like extreme fatigue. And I just had no energy, no stamina. So if I did kind of like get up and get out and do anything, I was only good for like a few hours. And it slowly built up. So if you are coming behind me, then I just want to encourage you that if you're feeling fatigued and lack of energy, it'll come back. So that's good news. It took me about 3 months. Now, everyone's definitely, different, but my experience, it was about 3 months after treatment, 3 or 4. So by the time I started feeling well and being a little more engaged in life and active, and even started like working part-time again and showing some houses because I work in real estate, I exposed myself to a lot of germs, and that was sort of the downside of this, is that my immune system had not yet rebuilt. So between the chemo and the radiation, my immune system was like non-existent. So of course, I jumped out. I was like excited, because I was feeling more energy and feeling pretty good, and went out and got myself sick. So what started as a cold turned into like bronchitis, turned into pneumonia. And you guys, I was a sick puppy. Finally, after, I mean, like several months, we got it kind of under control. But then I was left with this residual coughing. And finally, after like over 2 months of coughing, like this is like the cold, I would already kind of got over the cold. But I had this coughing thing going on. Finally, was smart enough to get an appointment with a pulmonologist who did some breathing diagnostic stuff with me, determined that I was now asthmatic, and was not on my radar at all. She really sort of attributed it to all the pressure and sickness and strain my lungs had been through, like with the bronchitis and pneumonia and everything, coupled with having just finished, radiation and the sort of the I don't know if you'd say damage or whatever to my, kind of like damage to the right lung. There's actually a thickening in the lung wall, I think they say, from radiation. So the lung kind of took a little bit of a beating. So, beaten. Where am I from? Anyway, beating. And so that just made me giggle. Sorry, I'm like sidetracked now. Beaten. Anyway, so so my lungs were kind of like beat up a little bit, and but the good part is that she diagnosed me with asthma. Not that that's good, but we had something. We had like a diagnosis, so we could treat it. And we did a breathing treatment. Started me on a nebulizer, a Breo, BREO, like for asthma, and then the little daily, like whatever, travel, like emergency inhaler kind of thing. So I have all of those. Started with the breathing treatment that day, like not even that day, like immediate relief. So if you've gone through radiation, you're having some like coughing, residual like problems or whatever like that, definitely put asthma, or and it may not be like a lifelong diagnosis, but like it might be strain on your lungs. So would encourage you to talk to a pulmonologist. But so yeah, I mean, it was a game changer, you guys, that day. From the first nebulizer treatment, the inhalers and everything. So I have been now a couple months on that and finally feeling better. Like I feel like I'm resting again. I'm sleeping. I feel great. So I'm excited to share that with you. So that's kind of like where I've been and why I sort of dropped off. And I apologize to anyone who I had a little concerned, because it's not really cool to be like a, cancer chick and then like drop off the face of the earth. And I think people think that I've died, but I'm so sorry about that. And I will sincerely try not to sort of drop off like that, because I understand the ramifications. But please don't ever hesitate to reach out and check in, and I will absolutely respond. So, where we are today, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling well, and now I'm about to I'm about to start, or I've like signed up for Reconstruction, to start Reconstruction. It's going to be a long process, but we're going to start. So, in just a few weeks, I will have the first of several surgeries that will begin the process. Oh my goodness, you guys. If you're coming behind me, I hate to break this to you, but cancer is expensive. So the, treatments, the insurance premiums, the maximum out of pockets, the deductibles, like all that jazz, coupled with the fact that we can't work. It's expensive. So if you love someone who's going through cancer, maybe start a GoFundMe or something for them. Seriously, it costs a lot to go through it. It costs a lot to come out of it. So anyway, just a side note. But I'm being faithful that God's just going to bless our finances, because I still haven't been able to work full time. I thought I was going to work full time like all year and kind of bank up and all that stuff, and that didn't happen because I was sick. But anyway, it'll all work out. So, having the first of several surgeries in a few weeks, and the first surgery is going to be kind of the biggest. In my particular situation, I was not a candidate for immediate reconstruction. So, because of that, because of having had radiation, the skin on the radiated side is not very pliable. It's not going to stretch very well, and it is required. They have to use the latissimus muscle from my back, both sides of my back, and the skin, and they will flip it around kind of under the skin, under my arm, so it won't lose contact with its original blood source. And they will move it to the front to kind of create a little cushion and a little pocket in which to put an implant eventually, but I won't have an implant right away. So the first surgery will be moving all of that and making that pocket, and also putting in expanders. And they're kind of like what they sound like. It's expanders to start stretching the skin, and that's a slow process. Minimum of 3 months, could be up to 6 months. It just depends on my body and how well the skin responds to stretching. So the expander is very similar to an implant, but it's a little more square in shape. And they put them in, and they will have little ports up here that they will, like weekly or bi-weekly, they'll connect to fill with saline. So they'll add a little saline every like week or two. It's I've heard that it can be a little bit of a painful process, but maybe like the first several days after they initially add the saline. So I don't know. I'll keep you posted about my experience through this process, because that's the other thing is there's so many people that I talk to that have had reconstruction and no problems, but I have looked for like a year and a half for someone who's had this particular surgery with the latissimus, the double latissimus skin flap, and one person, and all of my like support groups online and all this stuff. I mean, like one person, and she's heavenly. Like, she's been an absolute angel. She's a nurse, by the way, and as it happened, she was diagnosed with breast cancer herself. She actually went through all of her treatment, was exactly like mine, which is not as common. So it's kind of hard to find us girls that have the triple negative like this, that go through all of that aren't candidates for immediate reconstruction. So there's just fewer of us. So it's and I know this gal, I happen to find her in a support group, but she's not doing any kind of videos or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm your girl. Like, if you are going through this and if you're following behind, I'm vowing to document and kind of share my experience, so that girls like me will have someone to kind of like go to. And I know how helpful it's been to me to be able to reach out to her and ask questions, and she's been gracious enough to share pictures and her story, like front pictures, back pictures, and all of that. And that's been really, really helpful and encouraging. Um, and I'm feeling excited. I'm also feeling anxious about the upcoming surgery, mostly because it's kind of invasive. It's not just cutting in 2 areas in the front, but 2 areas in the back. So there's a lot of healing and recovery that will come. And, they say there's no guarantees. Like, not everyone is a good candidate for reconstruction, but you don't know if you don't try. And so I'm just being faithful in so many ways, and I'm going to try. And if I'm not a candidate, we'll find out, and then we just go back to being flat. So I am flat, but I have a newer set of prosthetics that I was trying out. Try a little something new. And so I have lived flat for a year and a half, and it has not been an easy decision to go forward with having reconstruction, especially that it's going to be multiple surgeries and take potentially more than a year. What that does to my body, taking that life and, a lot of time in recovery and not being able to work and sort of the strain that puts on. So just a whole variety of reasons why I shouldn't. But the main reason why I am is because I'm not a cancer patient any longer. But you guys, when I look in the mirror, that's what I see. I see an unfinished, amputated cancer patient. And I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to see that. I want to feel whole again. And that's really been difficult for me to, to think about and to say. And but I do. I want to feel whole again. So I'm excited to have that date on the calendar. It's just a few weeks away. And I will have the expanders for, like I said, like anywhere between like 3 to 6 months. And depending on the skin and how well it stretches. And I've heard a few, like, you don't want to stretch too quickly because you can have tearing of the skin. The incisions can actually tear. So you have to take it slow and easy. And it just really kind of depends on each particular person, each individual person. I've had so many people ask me, who just don't know. They're like, oh, what size are you going to be? And it's like, okay, guys, this is not a boob job. Like, this is definitely not breast augmentation. This is like, we're like recreating a whole wheel here. So it's not even really going to look totally like a normal boob. Some girls call them like, well, I don't even like the nicknames because they're not very nice, but like a quilt of many colors. I've heard that one. Dolly Parton has a song of, oh, it's a coat of many colors. So I've heard that one. That one's okay. There's other ones that I'm not as fond of, so I'm not even going to say those out loud, but they will be mine. They'll have some, scars and marks and whatever, but it's going to be my body. Anyway, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I think that's it. So that's kind of where we are. I'm going to do my best to kind of share my journey. So if you are coming behind me, that you, especially if you've had all of the things that I've been through, then I'm so excited, not excited. I wish I wasn't going through this, but I'm happy to be someone that you can sort of watch and follow, to have someone answer a lot of your questions like I had. And, or if you've been through any part of the things that I've been through, chemo and or surgery and or radiation, so got a little experience under my belt now, and I'm happy to answer your questions. So thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you following along. I will just say, until next time, my friends, my door is always open, and I'm so grateful for your love and prayers and continued support. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye.